so great, but it's still pretty great. Wedding. It used to have lights, but it didn't have lights. New, with LED lights. Pagoda. Did they really say that? They did not say that. Yeah, they did say that. That's what she said.
And welcome to yet another episode of That's What She Said. Oh, my God, can you hear that? It's the sound of the world melting. Well, today's show is about, well, many things, but one of the things we talked about going to the Best Kept Secrets tour of Berks. So we have little tape segments of that, and let's start off the show with one of those, and there'll be a surprise secret in there. Let's go. Roll the first one. Here we are, starting out our Berks Secrets tour, Best Kept Secrets tour. But first, our Best Kept Secret is our newest addition to our panel here, Kira Apple. We're going to surprise her in her store, the Wise Owl Bookstore. Hold on. Follow me. Come along.
Okay, all ready. Now. Hi, Kira. Welcome, Kira. Our newest member was
Welcome to the panel.
I'm happy to be panel.
Panel. Kira cannot join us today on our tour because, well, she has the business to run, but she will be with us at the show and get to know all about her. Well, why don't we find a little bit more about her right now? Okay. Here, I'll get out of the way. Go ahead, take it, Kira.
Oh, no!
You're on.
All right, well, I'm Kira Apple. Mainly my whole life now is running this bookstore, the new and used bookstore in West Reading. We have a lot of cool stuff, vintage things, knickknacks, and kids' books, and fun things like that. We do community events, so we're really trying to, offer a lot of things to keep people coming in the door, because there's a lot of other options these days. Nook and Kindle and such, but we wanted something small and intimate, place where you could stumble upon something you didn't know you wanted. So that's the.
How long have you been here?
Just over a year, actually. Over a year. Been here just over a year. May 15th was our 1-year anniversary.
Well, congratulations.
Thanks.
And Kira has other community involvements as well.
I do. I perform when I can, or whenever I can find the time. And that's directing.
And if for no other reason, just come in here for the music.
Indeed.
Temperature-wise and cool music and lots of books to browse.
Yes, we have good air conditioning on days like
Patronize your independent bookstore.
Exactly.
Yes. Way to go.
Exactly. Thank you, Kira.
Thank you. We'll see you on the 18th.
Indeed.
Thank you for stopping.
Take care. We better get on our way. We have lots of things to see and do. Some baby animals to pet. Those baby animals will be up in just a minute. But yes, we have a new person on our panel. Welcome, Kira Apple.
Yay!
And I guess we should do the rest of the obligatory introductions. Go ahead.
I'm Martha Richardson. Welcome, Kira.
Thank you.
And I'm Ellen Gallagher. Nice to have you here.
Pleased to be here.
Sheila Harrington, and I'm very happy you're here.
I
am.
And Sheila is again knitting. Crocheting. Sorry.
Crocheting.
It's getting bigger and bigger. By December, we'll just be able to cover all of us. We'll have a little in-bed show.
Unitarian.
Yes, indeed. This phone reminds me. One of the things we were talking about before we came on camera was nobody seems to be able to be alone these days. There's no such thing as privacy. And it's kind of frightening to me. I grew up alone, but what
Completely alone?
Yes. They found me in a wood.
Oh, wow.
Twittering around my head. Speaking of twittering, that's right. You can tweet us at She Tweets to Me. That's right. Yes, she tweets to me or call us at 610-378-0426. All right, so privacy. Why can't anybody just be alone these days?
I resisted technology. I resisted a cell phone until I thought that I would need it for safety, and then I only used it for when I was going on trips for safety. Same with email. And now I feel guilty if I don't check my email. If I don't check
Letting people down.
I do too. And I value that privacy. And when I finally decide it's going to be a day when I'm not going to check anything, I don't care if you want to call me, fine. I feel guilty.
How do you
like
deal
that's
with
the day
this?
something's going to happen.
Exactly.
I mean, we're just like, oh my God, what if I miss it?
But I lived a whole long time without missing a whole lot, without any of those things.
Well, that's what's amazing at this point. It's just like, I think about when I was even a young woman. We didn't have any of this.
No.
Well, it was telegrams in those days, but it took time for the news to reach you. I mean, now if we don't have it, Jamie, our dear producer, always is on me about there's no such thing as a rhetorical question anymore, because I wonder what color the sky is. Well, let me find out.
Exactly.
And I think at this vacation time of the year, this comes to mind because many people are trying to get away from everything they're connected to for the rest of their lives.
Except for Facebook.
And they can't. Because so many of their employers expect that they're going to still be very much connected to their jobs, still carrying on what they need to do.
Well, that brings up another thing. I mean, what I've been reading, and thank goodness I've never run into it, but employers wanting to know your passwords. I mean, what are our privacy rights anymore?
I think it's unethical. I think it's unethical.
But I just heard of a very local major industry in Reading that just bought iPhones for all of their employees and they're paying for them and their monthly bills, urging them to put their private numbers on those cell phones. Well, I'm pretty sure that means then that the employer can read anything that comes in on their cell phone.
I think that, and I would. I mean, if you were
unethical, seems to be.
Indeed, but in this job market, can you say no? I won't do that. I mean, they'll just say, okay, there's the door. But it seems almost like economic blackmail at this point to have control over our private lives.
Well, and also I'm thinking about how children are being pulled into this at very, very early ages. They have phones at, I don't know, my grandchildren don't yet, but I know an awful lot of children do from the time they're in public schools. And they are in touch with their friends or with their parents can call them almost at any time of the day. And I'm just wondering what they're being set up for when they get to our ages.
I read an article that they show images to children now, like pictures, like flashcards like we had, to learn words and learn colors, and the kids will touch them and swipe them. Like that is the action that is the ultimate. Well, I want a new one. Touch and swipe.
My friend's niece
does that now.
Really? I had a phone that did not swipe, and she actually wanted to see my pictures, and it was a BlackBerry with a ball, and she was swiping her little finger, and there was no swipe, but that's what she did.
Nothing swipe.
A 2-year-old. A 2-year-old.
Yeah. That's
and that's young.
Yeah, a 2-year-old wanting to swipe pictures.
The cover of this week's New Yorker has it's a lovely island setting, and there's a family standing side by side, and everyone is looking at their phone. In other words, they're not enjoying each other and this setting. They're still back in their world.
Well, I think we see that more and more. And
I see it all the time when I'm out to dinner with my friends. All of us will be out on our phones.
And that used to be like rude. Just when cell phones were first and families were having them, like you bring out a cell phone, like everyone would stare at you. What are you doing?
Yeah, like you look like a
I think it is. I still think
and
it's
then
rude.
It just,
I mean, it really is. I've seen couples on dates look and really.
No, you really
on their
seen
cell phone. But I mean, on dates where one of them was looking at a cell phone through most of a Valentine's dinner. an expensive Valentine's dinner, and the guy was playing with his cell phone after each course, and I would assume that it was their first and last date.
All right. Well, I think we need to move on to our next tour stop, which was...
The animals.
No. I'm just curious as to where we're going to stop next. Where could it be? Maybe Just Curious. Roll the tape.
Okay.
Just Curious. Do you know where we are? We're in Just Curious. Come on, ladies. Let's see what they
Okay, I'm very curious to see what's here.
Oh, how lovely.
So is this the first place, or have you been to others? Oh, it's the very first one. All right.
Starting with you.
All right. Would you like some tea and cookies? We have a lot of cookies, a nice tea.
I can't drink any tea, but
No tea?
okay. We just came for breakfast. It started with breakfast and then curious.
All right. We have a downstairs area. We have a courtyard garden and a carriage house out back. There's lots to see here. Well, everybody's coming in, and one lady said, all right, this is our last stop. We've seen them all. And I said, all right, well, how does this compare to them? Oh, I really like this shop, but you come in second. I said, second to who? She said, the goat farm. Oh, I love the goat farm. Oh, baby goats. Oh, no. Even not done by goats. You'll still have a fun time.
That is my prime destination.
Oh, the goats are fun. Well, thanks. Lots of enjoy.
Thank you very much. You're well off, Jamie.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, how lovely. Would you like us to go downstairs from here?
Let's.
Certainly. Who can resist the dark?
Oh, wow. It's cool.
But they always are sweet.
We're going to check out what's in this shed. Well, actually, it's a little cottage more than a shed. Yes, just put a little bedroom. I'll stay here. Every time I walk in a room, Judy starts playing. Look at this wonderful calendar. Flip it.
Oh, that is neat.
That's very cool.
That is. Oh, metal.
Yes.
Nice.
And we've had a wonderful spending time here. Just curious. I have a little mouse in the bag.
I have a beautiful purple candle holder in my bag.
And everything's wonderful. We're going on now to see the baby goats. Thank you. Catch you soon. Oh, my goodness. Well, there's more segments to come. We had such a fun time. Now, I am a little upset because we said we would do this tour, but we also said we were taking donations for our tour to Europe. And thus far, nothing has come in. So, keep that, or get that money rolling. You want to see That's What She Said in Spain. All right. Now, Kira has a bookshop. We wanted to talk about forbidden books as kids. So, Sheila.
I wasn't not allowed to do much. Like, I was pretty much given free rein. Because I didn't really want to do anything this year. And if I did, I was told. But there was nothing I really wasn't allowed to do. So, as far as forbidden books, there weren't really any.
And growing up in Hamburg, where we had a librarian who kept close tabs on the books that you were taking out of the library. Really, there weren't books that I wasn't allowed to read that would have been available to me, but
That's
I
what
did
a coat's
find
for. You stick them underneath the coat.
No. You signed everything out with your name and was stamped. But
like
magazines were a different thing.
Ah.
There were magazines that I was able to come across. from time to time, and I was reading stories about things that happened to women when they were walking down the street in dark neighborhoods and that sort of thing that I just had never imagined. That
You were reading Twilight at that time.
Actually, it's very educational.
Ah, well, there you are.
You know, my books were pretty well controlled when I was a kid, although I wasn't really told not to read anything or to read things. But my parents bought the books and brought them into the house, so that's what I read. But when I got to be a teenager and I could go out and find books for myself, I would just get books based on things I'd heard. So, like, Ragtime the Musical came out. That's a pretty, you know, I wouldn't say a family-friendly musical, but kids could watch it and there's nothing really offensive. But I was like, well, I'm going to read the book. And I was, what, like 12, 13?
It's different.
It's just me. I was way too young to be reading that. And it's funny, too, because that was the first book I'd read like that, too. So maybe nothing was forbidden, but I certainly ended up stumbling upon forbidden things that I didn't realize.
Yeah. Your parents weren't aware that you got your hands on this.
No, I bought that. I bought that with my own money. I own it. I still own it. Still own the copy.
And I have a hunch if you were reading it now, you would find that there were even more things in it.
Oh, right. Things I didn't even get.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, yes.
My mother read things and and she was a reader, and she bought good books, but books that she didn't think I should read, and they were Du Maurier and some of those things and they were always in the top shelf of the linen closet, and I was always tall, so I quickly learned on that top shelf. One of the books, though, that I was not to read, and I was just thinking of this when we talked about it the other week, Mildred Jordan, who was a Reading author, she was Mildred Jordan Bousher, and she wrote a book called An Apple in the Attic. And I have no idea what that was about, but that was a rather scandalous book at the time, or at least in my mother's opinion. And she talked about it. I was not to read it. I did read it, and I think I was much too young to have any idea what was scandalous about it. But that was one of those books.
Read it, or were you old enough at that point?
No, I didn't. I mean, I read it. Oh, there was some shocking Pennsylvania Dutch sex. But books that my mother kept in the top shelf of the linen closet were the ones I strove to read.
Pays to be told.
Right.
Where was your parents' hiding place?
Oh my gosh! Honestly, like.
They didn't hide anything.
Well, they did. Well, I did, but I was a snooper. But I'd admit it. I'd say, look, I'm about to root through your drawers. My mom was okay. Just put it back. Whatever you take, put it back. So I was pretty honest about my snooping. I was like, I'm about to tear your room apart.
My mother used to hide things in the attic way.
She hid stuff, but she wasn't very good at it. I mean, if it was
every kid
under a
knows
shirt.
Where their parents hide.
Yeah.
So, Jane, did you read forbidden books?
I did not.
Because she was alone. She
grew
up alone.
There were no books in my little tree stump. Well, actually, no. I didn't learn to read until I was about 15.
Really?
My goodness.
And so, my goodness, we have a home caller. Saved by the home caller.
Right.
Hello, you're on That's What She Said.
Yes!
Oh.
Hey, you're like this real lovely lady. Hey, you're talking about books that are forbidden. I just read a book called 50 Shades of Grey.
That is one of those books that I had to read. Right. Because I wanted, it was big and I owned a store, so, it's funny that you say that in the forbidden sense, because that's scandalous. That is general now. Like, no one...
Filthy book.
Then what were you doing reading it? Thank you for calling in. Now, I guess that brings up another question now. Since we have a book like 50 Shades of Grey that is so universal at this point, are there any forbidden books anymore?
I'll be honest, that book is really not that dirty.
No, it's not. Thank you. No,
I'm hearing really...
No,
and it's entertaining.
I compare it to... what you would compare it to in terms of dirtiness. Like Anne Rice's Sleeping Beauty trilogy, which is like the gold standard. Like that's, many years ago, she was writing under a pen name. Like that is, holy cow. Woo. that's a whole other world, like a fantasy world, and this is it's just kind of tapping at the glass looking in. Like, there's nothing too shocking in this.
No.
So are there Lolitas today?
Are there Lolitas?
Yes.
In real life?
No.
Oh, I was going to say, I think I know what
we used to have like a literary.
Right.
Certainly.
Like that.
But it's falling by the wayside because I feel like that has been, lumped in with pop culture. So it's like, it can't be beautiful, it can't be wonderful.
Well, because of the general media, because of general publications, there's so much that we can see on television that when things like Lolita came out, that was shocking, but watch a soap today. Watch General Hospital. It's all on at 3 o'clock.
Mm-hmm. I mean, what is shocking anymore?
Nothing.
It's
nothing.
There really
being
isn't.
Without your phone, apparently.
Yeah. Taking a day off.
That's not shocking. That's horrifying. My goodness, I can't talk to Joe about what he did for dinner. All right. Well, here it comes. Here it comes, ladies and gentlemen. We're about to see baby goats.
Oh, my favorite. So cute. Yay.
Oh, if they want to bring a tractor out, they'll tell us. I'm going to see the baby goats. Come on. Ellen, have you picked up the one you want to take home? Oh. Goodness. Oh, my goodness.
Aren't you adorable? Aren't you sweet? Hello, pretty boy. I'm glad I had a gel manicure because this is kind of adorable.
It was sorry. That's so funny. I'm just eating all the ghosts. I like the noises.
And how long have you had this place?
We've been farming commercially where we're, not just as pets anymore, since 1996.
And what do you produce?
Mostly we have raw milk, which we sell. We have our permit for that. We
There
also
you go.
have fresh goat cheeses, feta, freestyle yogurt, and then I also make a little soap.
Oh my God, that's wonderful.
So everything goes.
All right.
These are alpines. No, they're going to get full size when they grow up. Actually, we're looking at those right now. They're alpines, and then we have a few with the little tiny ears.
Right.
They're called the monsters.
Okay, because I saw one over there. So these are the monsters.
In the back there were two with really long ears.
Right.
They're called Nubians. Yeah. Oh, little fluff piles.
I'll ask her if it's all right if we...
Oh, I love them. Look how little and fat they are.
Get in there and see the little chickens.
Oh, I love them. They're so fat. They look so squishy and like chunky.
You've seen the producer. Now let's go have the product. From goat to store. Oh, it smells good.
You can just toss it back out. There's shot. What is that on the...
Okay, those are cheeses, the hard cheeses. Now, those cheeses are not made here. They are goat cheese, but they are made by an Amish man.
Is it good?
It tastes like goat.
I'll try some.
It's delicious.
Very good. Thank you. And you can throw it
That
over
tastes
here.
like goat.
Goat milk is much easier to digest than cow's milk.
All right, back to the car we go.
Next stop is where?
So we need to look at the book.
You're watching bctv.org. Be informed. Be involved. Be a member. For membership information, go to www.bctv.org/support/membership. For other stories and information, go to bctv.org.
Becca's watching.
Oh, is she?
Yes.
We were just checking in who's watching.
And we got a new follower on Twitter.
We did. Who?
Well, it's Dell.
Well.
Someone I know. But
Well, that's a follower. is
That's
a follower.
important.
tweet us. She tweets to me on
There
Twitter.
you go.
And can ask us questions, and I'll be following.
And And that milk did taste like goat.
It did.
I'd like to give up a shout out, speaking of followers. I was shopping the other day at a store which will remain nameless, but Rhonda was the lovely manager. But Marcella stopped by and said, I watch your show all the time. The Italian food looked delicious, and it was. So, yes, it was, even though I didn't get to taste any of the sauce. But I'm told it was delicious. We will have to have him back on again. Okay. Huh. Now, you know, when Elvis died, or when the Beatles broke up, or when speaking of the Beatles, John Lennon was shot, these are these moments when you know where you are. So, what's your moment of you know exactly where you were when this happened?
I honestly think the only one is 9/11. I was old enough for Challenger, although I was old enough for Columbia, but for some reason I do not remember where I was for that. But 9/11 I do. I was in my 11th grade world history class, and we had kind of heard about it, and then we they still rang the bell, and we went to the new class, and we sat down, and he was a very quirky, odd man, but he had the TV on, and he was just propped up on the desk, and he's like, you are watching history. Listen. And we just watched it, and we watched it for the next class, and we watched it for the next class, and then midway through, people could go home. So, I certainly remember where I was when that happened.
Hold on 1 second. We have another home viewer.
Yay.
Welcome to That's What She Said. Hello.
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 This is Drew the Bugman.
Hi, Drew.
Hi, Drew.
I heard
told
about...
me to tune in tonight, and here I am, and bravo, what a great show.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah.
Well,
I'm going to get going because of the 7-second delay here.
all right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you
Thank
for calling.
The Challenger is one that I remember because I had been a candidate for teacher
So
in
was
space.
Barry.
Oh, my goodness.
And so it was something that I was very emotionally involved with. And that afternoon, we didn't have the television set on in school. It was kind of right after lunch, and the children had a lot of different projects that they were working on. And the librarian came to the door, and well, I'm sorry, I can't talk about it now. But
I can't even imagine. I knew someone else who is a teacher and who was very interested and was a candidate as well, and it was just, he still can't talk about it without, and it's hard.
Afterward, I was invited to the Johnson Space Center in Texas and got to meet many of the astronauts and got to work with some of the programs that they were espousing at that point. They were hoping we were all going to go back to our classrooms and let children know that space exploration was still a very, very important thing. And so it had some positive reactions to it. There were good things that came out of it, but a very, very upsetting moment.
It's scary to think that.
So. You're looking at me.
I
actually, that was because Barry was also a candidate and very, very much wanted to go into space, and I was so hoping he wouldn't be chosen. And he wasn't, and the day the Challenger happened, that night we went to a basketball game at the high school. We were both teaching, and one of my son's friends, and I have no idea if my son must have been in, 7th, 8th, or 9th grade, one of his friends came up and said to me, I'm so glad Mr. Kuiper wasn't chosen. I'm sure he was disappointed. It was just such a nice thing for a little boy to say, a young boy I think those of us who were teachers especially were touched by that, even if we didn't know someone who was a candidate.
I do
pretty awful.
Remember that. I mean, I know where I was because I was at the mercy of strangers and the kindness of strangers at that point. I was living in a basement, and I went upstairs, and they said, the Challenger's exploded. And I'm like, these things don't happen. No, it hasn't. And then they showed it again and again, and it was shocking to be faced with that.
Yeah.
What's your knitting tragedy?
My knitting tragedy? Haven't had one yet. But My moment, I'm going to go with 9/11. I was alive for the Challenger, and I do remember it, but it didn't. I mean, I was much older, obviously, for 9/11. So that, I mean, I remember everything pretty much from that day. I remember, you know, my family's in New York, all of them.
Right.
So that was kind of traumatic because the phone lines were down. I'm freaking out at work. You know, someone called and they're like, oh, you know, the World Trade Center is blown up. I'm like, what? Somebody flew a plane right into it. So nobody knew anything at that point.
No.
But
There was so much craziness that day, too.
Yeah.
They thought
so I keep
a helicopter and this and that. And, I just remember everything they said before they figured it out.
And the way people reacted, and if those of us who were teaching, we had teachers who refused to turn on their television sets, just wanted to keep going with their lesson plans that day. At the high school level.
That's a hard call.
Well, this was at the high school level. I mean, I think especially at the elementary level it was different, but at the high school level it was, until finally I think somebody came around and said, you may turn on your television and maybe it's something that we need to watch.
Hadn't moved back to this area yet, and I was still friends with producer Jamie. You know, he worked in Midtown, so when I saw that on TV, I called him and said, my goodness, and he was watching it from a skyscraper in Midtown, which is like...
On a cell phone, you called him?
No, at that point, it was a landline. Okay. Because at that point, everything was still fine, and then it was a very scary period to be up there.
We traveled to England and Scotland 10 days after 9/11, and the way we were greeted as soon as people heard us speak and realized we were Americans, that kind of stands out when you're there. People would come up and hug us and say, we are so sorry about what happened to your country. And actually, there were many English people who died in the explosion as well. But it was a time when people really had a lot of sympathy and empathy for America, and that's kind of nice.
And when Americans had empathy for other Americans.
Well, indeed. And on that note, let's go to our next tour stop. Roll tape. I love saying that. Oh, here we are at Stitches, and apparently there's a class going on inside. In what, Jamie?
I don't know. You'll have to find out, James.
Well, let's all go and find out.
Here, allow me.
Oh, thank you. Here there's a class going on.
Yes, we're doing stack and whack.
I know. We'll show you what that's all about.
We'll have to go find out.
Yeah.
Are these teachers?
We're stacking and racking.
Stack and whack.
Here's the original piece of fabric, and you cut it into 8 repeats, lay it on top of each other, make another cut and make diamonds. Here's your block. And that's going to have that scratching on it when it's finished. And all of these blocks have been put together. And it's all from the same fabric, but you can see how different each one is. So you don't choose little teeny weeny flowers that all look alike. Not a lot of your old-fashioned calicos, but some that have patterns that are a little bit bigger. I mean, this is wild. That's about the wildest I've ever seen. And because I teach it, I had to do it. This is one that Denise did, and this is the fabric she chose. So they're little, but they're colorful, and they're all different, so that when you make 8 repeats, 8 cuts, those are the 3.
That's very cool.
Very nice. Because it could have 2 centers. I'm just looking at it, I think that would be pretty as the center. So you lay it out right so. But then you can take the others and make them the center, and see how you like that. And in a lot of cases, it's very hard to choose which side. Her flowers and her color are a little farther apart than others, and so
The first one probably worked.
well, but if you had a lot with that in the center,
Then it makes a ring.
that makes a ring, maybe you want to do one that doesn't have that in the center and do the leaves. I'm just playing the devil's advocate here, because this would also make a beautiful block too. Because look at that. That's quite pretty. Yeah.
Once I'm going to use my sewing machine, I'm going to come and buy that kit to make that. But I have to learn to use my sewing machine first.
Problem with your bobbin, right?
I do. That's right. You were going to solve my bobbin problem.
Okay.
That's...
Lori's pen.
Yes. You have to go to the pen.
Yes, we must go to the pen. About how far to the soapbox? Not far at all. It's right on Penn Avenue. Okay. In Robisonia.
Yeah. Actually, we could probably park at one and walk between. I think they're pretty close to each other.
They are.
Well, Sheila, when the heck are you going to finish with this so you can do your own stack and whack?
I know, that's my next project. I want to do stack and whack.
Well,
I have to learn how to use a sewing machine first.
Lay it out here on the table.
Bring my sewing machine,
try all
my
kinds of
squares.
combinations.
Yeah.
Now, there's something that's been in the news, and I think it's a cosmetic product like Botox, but I'm not sure. And I hear you know something about it. The Higgs
Higgs
Botox.
boson.
Boson. Oh.
Particle.
Okay. Oh.
Well, really, I'm not so sure that I know much about it at all. But seeing the quilting piece that we were just watching reminded me that I had asked my son to kind of help me out with an understanding of what this all was. I had done a little research, and there were words that I was not at all familiar with. I knew nothing about the standard model. I knew nothing about all the different kinds of quarks and the fermions and all of that. And what he said, well, what they're trying to do, he said, think of it as quilters all over the world and for decades coming up with their own little precise piece of what they think is the explanation to this theory of everything. And then they start putting them together, and there are missing parts that would make it fit together. And that's kind of what the Higgs boson will do for the standard model.
It's like Jell-O.
Well, that's matter.
It fills in those empty spaces.
This gives it makes mass, that's for sure.
Ah.
Yes, which is what the Higgs boson will do.
You have to understand what that collider is. What, 17 miles? Is that what it was? Mm-hmm. There's a linear accelerator at Stanford University that we toured a number of years ago. Barry wanted to go, and I thought, oh, how boring. Physics, really? Those students that I've taught who were physics majors know I get hives at the thought of physics. It was one of the most interesting things we've ever done. And at the linear accelerator at Stanford is a mini CERN. It's a mile of where particles are shot through at an incredibly, I suppose, I have no idea. The control room was 5 stories underground, and it looked like truly something from a science fiction. It was an incredible tour, and I still have no idea what really happens to it. But the whole idea of taking something that has no mass, and yet we call it matter, and giving it mass by doing something to it is totally beyond an English teacher's understanding. So it's cool.
So if you're listening at home or tweeting, again, at That's What She Said, she tweets to me, or 610-378-0426. Call us and tell us, what's the matter? We just don't, I don't think we understand this boson. They go rolling in. Oh, okay. Well, I'm being told we need to move on to our next tour stop.
Thank goodness.
Because we've all proved that we are not scientists. Now, we're off to the salt box. Here we are at the salt box. All right, let's go in.
Joe and I are the owners, and we have approximately 20 consigners. We are also the official headquarters for Robizonia Redware, so if you're familiar with Brinier Pottery,
indeed,
it is the same team doing that. And we also have Terry Boyer, who is a member of the Guild. His log cabin work is in the back of his flags, and you will only find a discount of 10% here. He is also a consigner. So welcome to the Salt Box.
Look at what it is.
Oh, look at that. Perfect, see? That's what
Jamie was just the other day saying I should make a dessert in a tiny cast iron skillet.
And there it is.
How are they?
Oh, they're delicious.
I like that they're all the same color.
Yeah.
So you have to...
Yeah, you have to smell them. Which is odd, because I usually only smell ones that I like chocolate.
Ooh. That's really chocolatey.
It is, it's not.
That makes me... It smells like glitter.
Oh, my.
Like Hershey Kisses. I don't like
I
that.
want to smell the chocolate, though.
Oh.
Here, just...
Yum.
Yes.
It's amazing, because I mean...
It smells like chocolate.
Our soy candles are made in Lebanon County by a couple by the name of Patricia and Richard Dellebright, and they do a wonderful job. And if you're not a candle aficionado like Joe is, the best way to burn a candle is not to blow out or snuff out your wick, but to dip the wick
So it just goes out.
so that it goes out, and then you pull the wick back up. The fragrance will continue throughout the house, and you will get no black soot.
Ooh, hazelnut coffee. It smells like hazelnut coffee.
One person will win everything. It's valued at over $300, including these Robizonia.
A friend of mine, Joanne Lawrence, has a lot of the redware.
Oh, Brannigan's, Mr. Brannigan.
We had our famous meatballs that we served with cranberry jalapeno sauce.
Ooh.
That we only served during the Spirit of Christmas Trail in December. So she did that for the benefit of the fathers or the guys that came in, because they really like it. The longer they sit in the sauce, the zippier they get. And they're made with a Worcestershire sauce, mustard with horseradish. The recipe is back there. Some honey, regular deli mustard, and it really makes a sweet sour type of sauce that you eat it right away. It's very appealing. If you wait till the meatballs get dark, they got a kick.
Dipped your wick.
Oh my goodness! Oh, sorry, we were just having a wonderful time. Someday we'll tell you about it. I hear we have a home viewer, so hello, welcome to That's What She Said.
Hello. This is Irving Gonzalez.
Irving!
Oh my
Hi! Hi,
Can you
Irving.
hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Irving.
Turn down your whatever your TV, because we're getting feedback on the 7-second delay.
Okay, can you hear me now?
We can hear you.
Yes.
Okay, well, I'm here with Michael Contreras.
Hi, Michael.
Hello, dear.
So, hi, this is my first time watching That's What She Said, so I just want to welcome Kira to the panel.
Thank you. Yay.
Okay, I guess I'm delayed. Sheila.
Yes.
I'm cracking up.
What you laughing at? My blanket?
I'm cracking up because it's the first time I'm actually seeing you here on the home front. You're used to backstage.
Right? Yeah. I like to hide. I like to watch and observe. So
And she just
This
has
is
this.
different.
Put that up. She gets nervous.
Yeah, if I want to hide, I can put up my blanket.
Everyone needs a binky.
You're doing a great job, so that's great. Well, I just want to say congratulations to each of you, and we're looking forward to the next program.
Well, thank you for calling in. And are you? Have you gone? You have.
He's gone.
All right. We have another home caller. Welcome to That's What She Said.
Hi, Dean. This is Marcella. I met you at the dress bar.
Oh, my goodness, there she is.
How are you?
Wonderful. How are you doing?
Good. I just want to tell you the outfit looks fabulous. I don't know if it came from there or not.
It did.
Oh, good.
This is the one I got that day.
Okay, very nice.
Thank you very much.
And I just want to say I'm so glad that you videotaped some of the segments from the Best Kept Secret tour because I wasn't able to see it. I had left for vacation, so I'm glad I can catch up at least some of the spots.
Well, indeed. We tried to get to them all, but there's only so much time in a day.
Exactly.
But we had a great time, and thank you for tuning in again.
Oh, absolutely. I'm telling all my friends about it.
Oh, excellent.
Have a good one.
All right.
There will be another Best Kept Secrets tour in November.
Is it
Getting ready
in
for
Berks or
in Berks.
Can we do it again?
Oh, certainly.
I would love that.
Oh,
That was so much fun.
There's going to be another one, I hear. So, in when
November.
Oh, excellent. Well, we'll have to take.
Fall stuff.
It'll be much. It'll be
Christmas
much fuller.
stuff, I would imagine.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm told that we need to move on to our last. I think this was our last stop on the tour.
Okay.
Okay.
So, roll tape. Here we are. We're going to what is it called?
Lori's Candy Shop.
Lori's Candy Shop.
Lori's Candy Station. I just saw the sign. Sorry. Lori's Candy Station.
She has stationary candy. Sweets for my daughter.
Hi.
Oh, hello.
Oh, there they are. They're so pretty. I love that.
What am I missing? What am I missing?
Beautiful painted candy. Oh my goodness. Favorite color.
And what color are those?
Pink. And purple. And every color.
Goodness.
Do you make your own candy? I do. I make all the candy here. Okay. Really?
What?
In a hot car. Well, that's why I have an alternative to the chocolate.
Yes, I think so.
Cinnamon glazed almonds, cashews.
I'm pretty sure the chocolate we find in the hot car if it's in my stomach, right?
It won't melt there.
That throat drop you like will not come back into style.
So we're at, I just call it the cone.
It's the Wertz ice cream cone.
Oh,
You're
okay.
right. You got the key word. Yeah.
Here we are at
It's called Wertz's.
Wertz's Twisted Treat. I love the idea. It's looking giant ice cream cone.
Twisted Treat.
Yes, I'd like a small cup with chocolate chips.
What is a lemonade sugar?
The actual slushy, fresh baked lemonade.
I will take one of
I
those.
get a regular black raspberry shake. Raspberry sugar-free orange tea. Well, here we are at the end of the Best Kept Secrets of Berks County tour. We've had wonderful ice cream. We've bought lots of things. We've spent all our money. And now I'm call it a day. What do you think?
It's
Good
been
idea.
wonderful.
It's been a great day.
A lot of fun. Even the weather was perfect.
Oh,
it was wonderful. And we have uncovered some wonderful secrets that we will certainly revisit and tell our friends about.
Thank you for joining us. We'll see you in the studio. And like magic, here we are. Now, I am told that, we have an announcement
We have
that
a
Sheila
birthday.
must give.
Yes, I have to wish my friend Ferdinand happy birthday. I hope you're having a wonderful day.
Shall we sing? I don't think we can.
No, I don't want to. Too hot.
Fine. All right. We should let you know that we are, of course, bi-monthly. Our next show will be Wednesday, September 19th at 9 o'clock. Someday maybe we'll be on monthly, but right now we're just...
Tell them you love us.
They can't take us that often.
Tell them you love us.
Well, indeed. Right. Call. Send postcards. So, now, our last little topic, I think, the word hero has become a sort of... well, what has the word hero become? What is a hero?
A famous person anymore. Like, 'cause it doesn't seem to take a lot to be someone's hero anymore. You just have to have a name.
Well, is that an idol or is that a hero?
I'm not certain I know the difference.
No, there's a difference.
I don't know that I really know the difference.
I've stopped the room.
I'm going to ask the English teacher. Is there a difference?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I think a hero is somebody who is courageous.
You're right.
And courage in all sorts of, doesn't have to be running into a burning building to save a child, but that's probably a hero. But somebody who faces adversity without compromising his or her own ethics. Doesn't seem to be a lot of that nowadays, but I don't know. I think, frankly, as a Penn Stater, I have had some trauma reassessing my personal heroes, and
how does that affect your concept of hero?
I have definitely had to. Well, I guess I realized that you're never too old to be disillusioned, and that's a pretty serious subject. But as far as heroes are concerned, I don't know how you define hero. Kids have, sports,
It's kind of become like this grandiose idea, like,
it is, and it can be a little
comics and, superhero became kind of synonymous with hero.
Yeah.
And then, you look on, Facebook, or social media, list your heroes.
Exactly.
And
perhaps our home viewer has an idea of what a hero is. Hello, you're on That's What She Said.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. I would like to make a comment to Mrs. Richardson.
Ah.
I'm a student from a very long time ago. Don't be so nervous.
Who are you?
Kathy Steele.
Oh, Kathy. Nice to hear from you.
Yeah, I got a call that you were on the show, and I said, I remember when you shared the pixie stick story. Do you remember that?
No.
Uh-oh.
You'll have to tell us.
I don't.
What's the pixie stick story?
Was this from 8th grade?
Yes, this was the pixie stick story when you were called on by your teacher, your math teacher, and you shared your story about not having enough pixie sticks.
Oh, in 1st grade, when I ate them. That's too long a story to share.
So you were a greedy little child who ate everyone else's pixie sticks.
No. That's for another time. But my gosh, I'm glad.
That was a great story. That's not a bad story. That was a great story.
You jogged your memory.
Yes.
She had forgotten.
That experience in 1st grade. It was trauma.
Well, thank you for calling.
Thank you, Kathy, for calling. I hope you'll be a regular watcher. And
yes, I will. You were my hero. That's a great story.
There you go.
There you are.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I think there is a difference between our personal heroes and the term hero overall.
Yeah.
Heroes, as you said earlier, are generally celebrities that, for whatever reason, whatever they've achieved in their lives, we all look up to them as being an idol or someone that we would like to try to live our lives according to their standards. But I think we all have personal heroes as well.
I think
and
you're
it's
right.
awfully nice that when they're sometimes our teachers.
Is a hero someone who selflessly does something to make the world a better place without expecting any sort of recompense or recognition?
Yes.
Is that
or has an impact on us that affects our lives that they didn't even know they had that. They made that impact. That's
probably most heroes are not trying to be heroes.
That's what I was going to say. I don't know that they've tried to make the world. They just happened. They just didn't.
No.
All right. Well. Quick.
And that's the difference
down the line.
Between
Hero.
Oh no.
Not quick enough.
My mom. I really respect her. She was very, she was younger when she had us, and I've been watching home videos of her raising us when we were kids, and it's just interesting. She had me when I was her age now, and I couldn't even conceive of raising a child.
No.
So, I respect that. I admire that.
My husband, Barry Kuiper, is my hero because he raised my children and put up with me every day. He is my hero.
All right.
Well, of course, after a mother and a husband, yes, I would have to ditto both of those. But when I look at someone that I think, wow, if only I could contribute like that person has in history, the one that I keep coming back to is Charles Darwin.
I like that one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna follow Kira, and I'm gonna go with my mom because she puts up with a lot from our entire family, and it's not easy, but she just does it. And she's cool like that.
Well, that's wonderful.
Love her.
Great. And Jane?
Oh, well, I would have to go with Amelia Earhart because I have a thing for women who get lost.
We're lost and found.
Well, indeed.
You've done Amelia one better.
Well, there you go. But I thank you all for joining us. Remember, we are back again on Wednesday, September 19th at 9 o'clock. This is That's What She Said with Kira, Martha, Ellen, Sheila, and of course me, Jane Street. And we thank you for joining us. And you have a wonderful, wonderful evening. And we'll see you soon.